Good morning. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk, and this is Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. Katrina is sailing the 7 seas with Pat George, so I will be filling in today for her, as I do from time to time. Eventually, she'll actually invite me to go on one of these cruises, but until that time, I guess I'll have to just invite my close friends into the studio to talk for an hour. And what an exciting hour we have for you today. The topic of today is the 203K loan/homestyle loan. And you're probably wondering, I don't know what that is, which is fine. That's why you're listening to this hour of Tampa Home Talk. We have a very powerful lineup for you today. We have Ty Swenson from Swenson Construction. We have Anthony Maselli from Beryl Engineering and Inspection. And returning is Adam Talley with Talley Insurance.
Good morning, Leo.
I know. It's exciting to have you in the studio as opposed to just a 2-minute phone call.
I like it a lot better.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just more relaxing face-to-face time. We're here in the Beasley Studios over in beautiful St. Petersburg. Weather is beautiful. I just love this time of the year where the weather starts to get cooler. How does that impact construction, Ty? Because I know you're a construction firm.
Well, when it's not raining, we're building, so it's nice. Don't really enjoy the getting dark so early, but other than that, everything's full speed ahead with no rain, hopefully in the near future.
Well, can't you just start construction even earlier in the morning?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still, you're still starting at 7 no matter what, because you don't want to wake the neighbors. But other than that, people usually cut out at around 3 or 4 on a construction site anyway. But I like to get home before it gets dark. But lately, I've been getting home after dark. So. Well,
yeah, I know. Usually, like after I walk my dogs around 5:30, I like to go on a bike ride. And when I start my bike ride at 6 o'clock, it's almost pitch black out there. It's just insane. How's that impacting you on inspections, Anthony? Are you getting caught with the no light down?
No, I mean not at all. I mean, we actually it's actually better being kind of more daylight in the morning, because now you get up, it's daylight versus being dark. So I kind of like the hour change.
And you have no opinion, do you, Adam?
Yeah. I'm just tired. I don't know what time it is anymore.
See, I've often debated having 2 houses where one house could be in this time zone and then one house could be like in Texas. So when the hour changes, I just move to another state. I thought about that. That way I don't have to adjust. Or just move to a state like Arizona that has no hour change whatsoever.
I think the legislator passed something last year. They just haven't enacted it yet to get rid of.
Well, it had to be approved by the Senate, and so we passed it here, but the Senate didn't pass it, so we didn't get to do it. No.
In the state of recounts, you think that they would allow us to not mess with our time as well?
From what I heard, it was more of the news outlets, TV stations, that kind of stuff, because they didn't want the news to be an hour off and all the shows and everything to be an hour off of what it would be for the rest of the East Coast.
You're blaming media, and you know where we're standing right now.
This is the radio. Everybody's going to listen to it anyways. Well,
yeah, we do have 35,000 strong listeners. And if you'd like to call in and ask a question, our on-air number is 888-404-1010. That's 888-404-1010 is our in-studio number. I'm sure we might have a giveaway later. Maybe a free insurance quote. We'll give one of those away later in the hour. If you'd like to save some money on your homeowner's insurance, maybe we'll give away a free. I got one for you, Ty. If you redo a kitchen with Swenson Construction, we will give you one free handle on a cabinet.
We might throw in a microwave.
Okay. It's good stuff. But anyway, the reason why I wanted to pull us all together today as a power team is to talk about something called the 203K loan, or the homestyle loan. And that basically is when you're buying a house and you want to renovate it. Because oftentimes I'll be looking at a property, like with my wife, for instance, and she's like, "Oh, I love this house. I want new flooring." Or, "I need a new AC system."
I've never met your wife, but I bet that's exactly how she sounds.
She does, with the arms flailing too. So when you're in a house and you want to buy it, but you want to make these changes, the worst thing that can happen is having a mortgage where after I spend $250,000 on a house, I then have to have a second line of credit or a second payment to afford $30,000 to $50,000 in renovations. That's 2 payments in 1 month. Now, what the 203K product does is that allows you to have that as one payment. So you get your mortgage, your renovation in one payment, makes it easier for the buyer to buy the house. And it's truly a great product because where it came about was they all these toxic assets from the 80s. You think I'm talking about early 2000s, but I'm talking about from the 80s. They wanted a way to bring these houses up to basically marketable value and have the houses sold and have these houses renovated. So that's where it came about. So when you have these downturns in the market, these products become more popular. And as you get these government programs that open up in the beginning of the year, you get a lot of money in this arena for this product. So I know, Anthony, how many inspections did you do in the 203K arena earlier this year, like between January and June?
For myself, probably maybe 20 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ty, are you also seeing like a cyclical or a seasonal type with this, like during certain times of the year?
Yeah, it seems like we were busier, right before school was getting out. As people, I think like to move during the summer and get situated before school starts. We've had one or two lately, but we were a lot busier, earlier in the year.
Yeah, and January is right around the corner, so we'll see an uptick in that again, which is why I like talking about things that are timely. If you were talking about January and November, that's timely. If we're talking about January and February, we're all behind the curve. So that's why I want to talk about these things in advance. Speaking of talking about something in advance, I've got very exciting news for you. We have an open house tomorrow, 12 to 4 p.m., we being Katrina's team, at 27422 Sky Lake Circle in Wesley Chapel. That's 27422 Sky Lake Circle in Wesley Chapel. This is a beautiful 3-2 house, 1,690 square feet, 2-car garage, laminate and tile flooring. Open house tomorrow, 27422 Sky Lake Circle, Wesley Chapel. It's going for $235,000. I don't expect this house to last through the open house tomorrow. I fully expect the buyer to be calling Beryl Engineering and inspection of that house sometime next week to have it inspected.
Will they have cookies?
They usually have cookies. Sometimes they even have mimosas.
Whoa.
Nice. These are 12 to 4, cookies, yes, mimosas, not sure. I do know we did one open house. We actually did a broadcast from an open house, and they had cookies, they had mimosas, they had champagne, which is the mimosa without the orange juice. They had everything. By the end of our 1-hour broadcast, the whole real estate team was completely lit like these microphones.
Nice.
That was great times. So back to the 203K. It's important because this allows you to buy a house that you wouldn't already don't have the means to buy. Helps your deal close faster, because I know, going back to when Adam and I talked about the 4-point, sometimes you go on the 4-point form with the 4-point inspection to qualify for insurance, and there's a couple of deal killers in there. Like, what are some of the common deal killers you'll see?
Electrical wiring is one of the biggest things that I've seen recently. A lot of double tap wiring, aluminum wiring, that type of stuff, where the carrier puts their foot down. They don't want anything with that, so you either have to replace the entire box or find a new house. So
something like this 203K program can step in and say these repairs will be done after the house closes, and then the insurance companies, what's their take on that when they have written notice and a written contract saying that this is going to be taken care of?
It depends on the carrier. So a lot of times we have a lot of good relationships with all of our underwriters, with most of the carriers. So if it's something where everything else on the house is looking great, it's just one or two things, they know it's going to be done within a certain amount of time period, they'll allow it on that contingency.
Now, if we're talking about a lot of construction where you wouldn't be able to get insurance, a normal HO3, HO8 insurance, is there a product out there that bridges the gap during the construction?
Why, yes, there is. So there's a policy called a builder's risk policy. And what it is designed kind of like a homeowner's policy, but really what it does is it covers that structure plus the renovations, and it allows for the, construction, renovations, that kind of stuff to be going on. And obviously the home at that time is vacant or unoccupied. So it allows for all those extra issues.
So what does that coverage actually cover? What are we covering? We're covering the house if it gets damaged. We're covering the materials if it gets stolen.
Yes, so it'll cover the house if it's damaged, materials if it's on site, so long as they've been installed, and also some liability.
Awesome. Well, we're coming into our first break. So at this time, I'd like to remind everyone that if you like what you hear and you want to get more information about Ty, about Anthony, or about Adam, you can reach us at our off-air number, which is 813-377-2775, 813-377-2775. And when we come back, we'll get a little bit more into the insurance, and then we'll start talking about how you do the 203K process. Again, this is Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Welcome back. This is Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection, your host of Tampa Home Talk this morning. I just wanted to take this quick reminder this moment to remind you about our open house tomorrow from 12 to 4 p.m. at 27422 Sky Lake Circle in Wesley Chapel. That's 27422 Sky Lake Circle in Wesley Chapel. This is a beautiful 3-2, 1,690 square foot house, 2-car garage, laminate and tile flooring, open house. Come out tomorrow. Say hello to the Katrina team. If you'd like more information about this listing or any of Katrina's listings, you can dial us at 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. And I just want to take one more moment, if I may, gentlemen, talk about this brand new listing. It went active, I think, yesterday or even today, like an hour ago. We have one at 440 Meadowlark Lane, Palm Harbor, Florida. That's 440 Meadowlark Lane, Palm Harbor, Florida. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,679 square foot home. It's private pool. It's got a fireplace. It's close to the beach. You can land this beauty for just $300,000. Make sure you give us a call at 813-377-2775 to find out more information about how you can actually come to the open house, how you can actually get in, be the first person to see Meadowlark Lane, and be the first person to have your own private pool, fireplace close to the beach. There's not too many houses like that. To have all 3 of those, that sounds like a good combination. What do you think, Adam?
I'd take it.
You would take it? Well, if you take it, then why am I announcing it on the air?
I'll let Katrina's staff do the work on that.
But you'll write the insurance policy.
I would love to.
Speaking of the timing of insurance policies, we're talking about builder's risk on a 203K or a home style right before the break. A builder's risk policy to cover the gap between normal insurance and construction. Is there what kind of timelines? Am I looking at a 1-month policy that renews every month? Do I get a 6-month? I mean, how do I line one of these up from a timing standpoint?
So that's also going to depend on the loan and the lender and everything like that. A lot of lenders, they want to see a 12-month policy, so we do have those options available. Some people, lenders not necessarily looking for that, so we can do anywhere from between a 1-month policy all the way up to a 15-month policy. So we have quite a few options available for them.
So what happens when, at no fault to the contractor, they're running a little bit behind due to maybe a homeowner decision or a hurricane? What happens when one of these policy hits its lapsing period?
We'd have to rewrite it. So you do a short-term policy.
So you just get a new short-term policy. There's no extensions like month to month?
No. So with one of our carriers, they have options between 1 and 6 months, and anything between 4 and 6 months, you can get a refund. So on, up to half of the premium. So if they say it's only going to be a few months, I always encourage them, okay, well, let's get a 4 or 5 month policy. We can always cancel it and get some money back, but it's going to be a lot more expensive to keep going 1 month at a time.
But if my contractor tells me it's going to be 4 months from start to finish, I mean, Ty, it's only going to be 4 months, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you work with Swenson Construction, though, those other contractors will drag it on much longer.
Well, and again, at no fault to the contractor, some of these projects take longer than anticipated. What are actually some of the legitimate reasons other than because the homeowner thinks the contractor is just not around. But I mean, what are some of the legitimate reasons in your industry you've come across that contractors might not move as fast?
Well, you always have weather as one of the big ones in Florida. And then anytime you're doing a rehab, you have underlying conditions that you don't know about. You start peeling off drywall and there's wood rot and sagging beams. All that stuff needs to be addressed. We've got to get an engineer out to make sure something structurally doesn't need to be done, and that takes time because they've got to make a drawing of it. We've got to take that drawing down to the county, have them approve it. So, I mean, and the county right now is not as fast as we'd like them to be. So I mean,
Understatement.
those are the biggest things, you know, that lead to delays on our behalf.
Okay, but speaking of having an engineer, I mean, the joy of the 203K process is you basically have an engineer with you the whole step of the way. So let's bring Anthony into the conversation. You're a certified master inspector with Beryl Engineering and Inspection.
Correct.
You are a 203K consultant, and you're a home inspector.
Yes.
And I understand you're getting your building code license in the near future as well.
Looking for it.
So as a home inspector, what would be one of the differences? I'm a home purchaser. I don't know anything. I don't know the difference between an inspector and engineer. Why would I need a 203K consultant, and how is that different than a normal home inspection?
Well, a 203K consultant is actually going to be estimating the damages, which is going to be their renovation process, versus a home inspector is non-invasive. So you're basically just going in and pointing out defects for a qualified person to do the inspection. 203K, you're pretty much all that in one. You're inspecting the home, you're checking everything out, and you're documenting what the home is going to need to get it back to habitable conditions.
So basically, if I was a home purchaser and I'm going down this 203K route, I shouldn't have a home inspection first and then bring a 203K consultant in?
Well, I guess you could, but maybe kind of wasting. Yeah, I would say no. I would, just because we do both. We have the process of doing the inspection as well as the whole 203K process.
So what are some of the common things you see out there on some of these homes? There might be a hoarder home. It might have been a foreclosure that's been abandoned for who knows, 2 or 3 years. What are some of the common defects you find?
I find a lot of the roof, usually HVAC is not working, or there's a lot of mold, moisture growing, a lot of rot throughout the home, poor maintenance, no maintenance. Some could be a tear down and you'd be surprised, but very few get like a normal renovation. Most of them are pretty much at the point where we're going in and just writing up everything that we pretty much paint everything from floors to roofs needs to be renovated to make it habitable.
Okay, so you're following the minimum property standards set by HUD or FHA.
Yes.
You're going through, you're making your list, you're checking it twice. The home is going to definitely be naughty, but Ty's going to turn
make
it
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, all that. So you're in there, you're doing your inspection, you're finding these standard defects. I hear there's 2 different types of this product. There's the 203K Limited or Streamline, as it used to be called, and there's the 203K Full. What separates the two?
Well, it would be more of the cost. When you have it's full would be like I believe it's over $30,000, and then anything under that is limited.
So from a lending standpoint, we don't have a lender here, but I know the difference on paperwork is quite drastic. From a contracting side, do you see a difference between the limited and the full?
There's a little bit more paperwork, you know, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. You know, there's not a whole big difference. Our estimate's our estimate, just depending on where the price falls, I guess.
Now, also with the 203K product, the consultant basically prepares the bid document that you're bidding off of. Is that correct, Anthony?
That is correct.
So you give a copy of the estimate with numbers to the homeowner.
To the homeowner, correct.
With pictures, and then you produce a second set of documents.
Yeah, for the contractor, which is a little more detailed, but without prices.
Without prices.
Yes.
Oh, so we don't get to dictate the contractor prices.
Correct.
Okay. So you've done that. Now the contractor enters into the picture. That would be Ty. So you typically get this bid document, some pictures, access to the house. I know the homeowners in these situations are under a time crunch to get the estimate. So what do you do that's different than your competition to get a timely estimate?
Well, one of the things I hear a lot is, I can't believe you answered the phone. So that's one, we're doing something right there. 2, we just try to jump right on them. We know there's a lot of timeliness to it, and we know we don't want to waste people's time. If we're going to be way out of budget, they need to find someone that can get in their budget, or they need to find a house that will fit in their budget.
Yeah, and that brings up a great point. A lot of times, these homeowners, they watch shows on HGTV that have unrealistic prices. Sometimes I was watching one, they were only talking about material price. They weren't even talking about labor price. So it made it look like this $70,000 flip was only going to be $50,000. And we're up against that. So what are some of the things that both Ty or Anthony, you do with the homeowners to set their expectations on what the price is going to be, especially in Florida with these volatile prices of construction?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to like just throw prices at them. It's pretty much going to be estimating, and then with like a contingency of 10% or 15, depending on the type of damage that I see. So it can be 50,000 plus another 10, 15, and then the process of everything else that comes with that.
So what is this contingency you're talking about?
That's hidden defects that we can't see through the estimating inspection period. Anything that's behind the wall, a bowing wall, something HVAC is not working, we don't know what it's going to take, might need duct work, stuff like that.
Basically, if there's a $50,000 estimate, you're adding another $5,000 in reserves.
Correct.
Oh, that's nice. Does that come in helpful during the construction on your side?
Most times we have to use it, and most times we have to go over it because if there's $5,000 worth of damage, there's usually 10.
That's true. Well, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I just want to remind you that our off-air number is 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. You can get a hold of Ty Swenson from Swenson Construction to talk about quoting a kitchen remodel. Get a hold of Anthony Maselli from Beryl Engineering and Inspection to talk about a home inspection or a 203K consultation. And you can get a hold of Adam Talley from Talley Insurance. We will be right back after the break. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Remember, love where you live, but let us fix it. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection, filling in for Katrina while she is off sailing the high seas with Pat George and a lovely cruise that eventually I'll be invited onto. But until that time, I'm just going to keep plugging her listings, and I'm going to blow up her open house tomorrow, make her wish she was there, because there's going to be so many buyers at this open house. House is going to disappear, and then all of her agents are going to steal all of these buyers and find them beautiful homes throughout the Bay Area after this one disappears, and that's because she's out of town. So 27422 Sky Lake Circle, Wesley Chapel, 33544 is the zip code. Again, open house tomorrow, 27422 Sky Lake Circle in Wesley Chapel. Now, we do have 3 other listings that I do want to briefly talk about. We also have in Tampa, if you want to drive as far as Wesley Chapel, we have 8801 Rustic Trail Court, Tampa, Florida. That is a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, almost 3,000 square feet. It's on a cul-de-sac in a golf area and newly painted interior. So if you want to live near a golf course on a cul-de-sac, this means that you're isolated and you have your athletics right there. You can go biking, you can go golfing, you can do whatever else they do in a golf community. This is the house for you. 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, almost 3,000 square feet. We've got another one for those that want to live east, like where Anthony lives in that area. We've got something in Riverview for you. We have got 12325 Prairie Valley Lane in Riverview. The houses just keep getting bigger and bigger. This one's 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, over 3,000 square feet. It is a Walcott model, whatever that means. I don't know. That's what's on the paper. But the Walcott model, that means it also has a 3-car garage. It's built on a preserve, large front, side, and backyards, and you don't have a backyard neighbors because you're built on a preserve. So if you want to be isolated in a large mansion-like house, you're following the Walcott model, and you have 3 cars, this is the house for you. 12325 Prairie Valley Lane, Riverview. And the biggest bang for your buck, I have vacant land.
Ooh.
That can be any size house. 6848 Quail Hollow Boulevard in Wesley Chapel. We can sell you almost an acre worth of land. So like I said, these houses went from a 3.2 to a 5.2.5 to a 6.3. And on an acre of land, you can put a McMansion there. You can go 10 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. You can do it. The sky is the limit. Actually, the sky would be the limit on vacant land because you have to build up. And if you would like to find out any more information about this, about our open house tomorrow, or about our listing that just hit the MLS at 440 Meadowlark Lane in Palm Harbor, give us a call at 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. Now let's just jump right back into the 203K/homestyle process. We've covered how to get insurance during construction. We've covered what happens before you close on the house, the bidding, the contracting, the inspections. Let's talk a little bit about after the loan closes. We enter the construction period. That's pretty much where Ty's company steps in, starts doing the construction. What makes the 203K process different on your end from, let's say, a normal construction?
You gotta wait a little longer to get paid. Is the one thing I think that scares a lot of contractors away. A lot of contractors like to be paid as soon as they're done with the work. You know, you have to. There's steps after you complete the work. You have to call in Anthony to come do an inspection to verify it's been done, and then he lets the bank know, and then the bank will release the draw. So it's a little bit of a lengthy process.
So there's more protection in there for the home buyer?
Absolutely.
So you've done some work. Let's say you've completed the roof, you changed the HVAC, you've demoed some walls. You call Beryl Engineering and Inspection. Anthony or one of the team members comes out there, reviews the work done. So you can't bill the client for stuff you haven't done.
Correct.
And then he verifies that it's done correctly to the homeowner's satisfaction.
Correct.
And then he produces something called a draw document, which is basically a fee table, and you get paid out of that. Does the bank, further to protect the homeowner, hold anything back from that?
They hold back 10%, and they also need lien releases from anybody that's filed an NTO on the job as well.
So pretty much there's all these extra layers of protection built into this that for the home buyer that most contracts don't have.
Correct.
So that sounds like it's so if I'm gathering this correctly over the course of this hour, I've got a loan product that I could use to buy a home and renovate it with one payment. I have built-in extra layers of protection on the construction work. This sounds almost too good to be true.
I mean, it's definitely a great option for a homeowner that has no construction expertise whatsoever. I mean, it basically walks you through the process. It's basically construction lending for dummies because everyone's doing the work for you.
That's awesome. So, Anthony, when you're going out there and do you meet with the homeowners during these draws, or are you basically just meeting with the contractors?
Most of the time, it could be either both, or it's not even. It could be like a house that's going to be under construction, and it could be just me doing the
like
inspection.
A lockbox.
Like
a lockbox type of thing, and just going through the drawer to find out what has been completed.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the types of construction that Swenson Construction does inside and outside of the 203K product. I know between our two firms, Beryl Engineering and Swenson Construction, we've done about 8 this year. But can you tell us something about the breadth of Swenson Construction and their ability to perform construction in general?
We started doing construction right before the market crash. So then that led us into foreclosure maintenance. And that started slowing down. We started doing REO rehabs for local realtors that were listing bank-owned properties. And then, we just organically turned into having full-scale retail jobs where we work directly with homeowners. And that now we do everything from a spec house all the way up, a spec $1 million mansion all the way down to changing out a door for somebody. I mean, we pretty much cover all your bases in one shop.
I also understand you do commercial construction.
Yeah, we're actually my brother and I are partners in a commercial construction company. It's called Triton Construction Group. Specialize in petroleum construction, things like Wawa, Circle K, 7-Eleven, and also smaller retail. Like we've done a few Hardee's restaurants, some car washes, things like that.
So how would commercial be different than residential? Is permitting more intense?
Usually permitting is handled by people like you before we're even involved. Permitting's already been submitted. We're kind of coming in towards that tail end with a bid after all the changes and whatnot have been done to the plans. They'll send it out to bid to, say 4 or 5 contractors, and give us 2 weeks to bid it. And that type thing. And, then the permit's usually ready shortly thereafter.
So basically with commercial, it's kind of a little more reliable. You can start faster. It's easier to sequence.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably years of pre-planning in a lot of these commercial construction jobs. I know a lot of times zoning has to be changed and that can take, crazy amounts of time. I've had projects that have been delayed over a year just because of a zoning issue.
Yeah, I've experienced that myself on some of our projects as well. So you do residential, you do commercial. I know that we helped you guys on I think it was a school/church. That was a pretty large project with one of your project managers. So what are some of the more exciting projects you've worked on?
We did a really interesting project last year. Was a pipe organ shelf at the church I go to, St. Timothy's Catholic Church up in Lutz. It was about $150,000 job. We had to install a steel shelf with concrete poured on top of it to keep the vibration from really rocking the church. They have a beautiful organ that is, and these pipes are like make your ears ring. They're so loud. So we had to really reinforce that thing. That was definitely one of the most interesting jobs we've ever done.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit more exciting than a kitchen bathroom reno.
Oh, absolutely.
So what are some of when it comes to kitchen and bathroom renos, I've seen the gambit. I've seen something that looks like a $5,000 kitchen setup with cabinets and an island and granite countertops. And I've seen the same footprint, but it's a $20,000. And I've seen the same footprint at $60,000. Why? What makes the $5,000 footprint a $60,000 kitchen? Custom-made
cabinets will always throw you way out of $5,000 range. That's for sure. You know, we've done kitchens with $60,000 worth of cabinets for the same size kitchen that you could, order the ones that come in a flat box for probably $9,000 or $10,000. So there's a big difference in custom-made cabinets and ones that are shipped over bulk from China.
Do you see something similar in flooring as well, going from like a glue-down laminate to some of these fancy tiles? Do you see?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we did a house a month or so back with marble flooring. That was a interesting one.
Venetian marble?
I don't know exactly where it was from, but it was expensive. I know that.
Wow. So how do you protect yourself? I know through the 203K program, I think they make you break your bid down by labor and materials. But if you haven't broken your bid down by labor and materials, how would you as a contractor protect yourself from crazy homeowner expectations on upgrades?
We clearly communicate to our customers, you have this amount to spend on flooring. We'll usually, like say we're in a certain neighborhood where we've done a lot of work, let's say like Carrollwood Village, we know that most people are going to spend around $3 on their flooring selection. So we'll give them a $3 allowance. If they go above it, they're paying the difference plus 15% change order fee. If they go below, they get a credit at the end. So we try to give them a reasonable expectation. And you can also get the feel from a customer when they start pointing at things that they like. You may need to move that expectation up a little so they're not blown out of the water when they pick a $7 square foot tile.
So yeah, it's all about, and I think Anthony touched on earlier about setting the client expectations up front to make all of our jobs easier and in the construction industry.
Yeah, and basically just letting them know what they pretty much can and cannot afford, because most of them have a cap on their rental as much as they can go. Plus, it's tricky because the land value, house value has to all be as a factor as well.
Well, yeah, the house, with this product, the home still has to appraise. It appraises
correct
for a value after the construction. So if you have a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house and you use this 203K or home style to turn it into a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, you have to appraise according to the new value, is from what I understand, because none of us in here are appraisers.
Correct.
Yes, and none of us are lenders. So we're talking about the 203K product. This is Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. If you'd like to reach us or any of our guests from today's show, you can reach us at 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. When we come back after the break, we're just going to get to know our guests a little bit better, get some random trivia questions to ask them. And maybe I'll talk about the Walcott model again. Maybe I'll talk about my open house at 27422 Sky Lake Circle. But you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Remember, this is Leo Cannyn. Love where you live, or let us fix it. We'll be right back after the break. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. I'm here with Adam Talley from Talley Insurance, Anthony Maselli from Beryl Engineering and Inspection, and Ty Swenson from Swenson Construction. So we've talked a lot these past 50 minutes about the 203K/homestyle loan, how you can use this loan to buy a house and fix it up with one mortgage payment. That's awesome. But I've got some questions that have nothing to do with the 203K loan that I'm very curious about. And since I've got Anthony on the spot, I'm also very curious about this as well. So Ty, Anthony, you guys are on the road quite a bit. It's lunchtime. What do you do as a predominantly you're on the road, you're always traveling. What do you do eating wise to eat healthy?
Well, for me, I like to go to Subways, I'll be honest. If I can find a Subways around, I'm there. It's pretty healthy, pretty easy, pretty light, pretty quick.
How about you, Ty?
I usually plan my day around lunch, so
I'm the same way.
Try to schedule appointments in general areas of places I like to eat. I like to. There's a couple restaurants I really like. I like to go to Hank's Barbecue on North Del Mabry. It's just north of Waters. It's fantastic. And then there's another place kind of hidden. It's off of Bush and Himes next to a Beef O'Brady's. It's called Hank's Pizza Kitchen. I like to go there and grab a piece of the buffalo chicken bacon ranch pizza. It's the best I've ever had. So I try to get into those places at least once a week.
Nice. And Adam, you're mostly in a desk environment, so you don't have to worry about the on the road. You can actually bring lunch from home.
I could. I move around a lot though, so I'm usually out and about, meeting with other clients and networking, that kind of stuff. But man, if I want a burger, I go to this little place in Brandon called Chicago's Best Burgers. Ask for the Adam. That's how often I go.
Ask for the Adam. Awesome. So that's not an insurance quote. Yes for a burger, they give you a quote of insurance.
No.
Awesome. So okay, so you guys are out and about. You travel a lot. Let's find out, what are some of your favorite areas to travel to in the Tampa Bay area? Let's start with Ty.
I enjoy all the neat and eclectic restaurants in Seminole Heights. I like to try different things. It's really interesting, some of the combinations of food they come up with down there. So I definitely like to hit the restaurants down there.
How about you, Anthony?
If I'm in Ybor, I like Ybor City. They got good pizza there. I'm Italian, so we gotta have a good pizza.
Yeah, there's
hard to find in Florida.
Well, they have their own Italian club in Ybor, so I always hope they have some good Italian food in Ybor City. How about you, Adam? Where are some of if you're out and about and driving, you're like, ooh, I'm heading here. This is exciting.
Oh, well, driving, I don't know, but I love where I live, so I like to walk everywhere. Riverwalk is awesome. I can walk to Ybor. Really excited for Sparkman's Wharf to open up here in a few weeks. So.
Yeah, I heard that's opening November 30th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my wife won't stop talking about it. Do you know the difference between a wharf and a pier?
I do not.
So I didn't until my wife and I went to Boston, and now I never hear the end of it. So the difference between a wharf and a pier is made out of wood and a wharf is made out of concrete.
It's good to know.
That's the only difference. So in my world, as a structural engineer, I would say that the wharf would be more sound than the pier.
Insurance-wise, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so I get lower insurance. So that's a smart move by Channelside. Build something that gets you less money on an insurance policy, is more stable, will last longer. And there's a lot of people walking. And I know from recently traveling to San Francisco, there's a lot that happens on a wharf and a pier. You get all these restaurants, you get all these sea lions, you get all these tourists looking at the sea lions and the walruses. I mean, is there a chance for like a manatee viewing area at this Channelside, I wonder?
Maybe. That'd be an interesting idea. Why don't we tell Jeff Vinnick about it, see what he says.
Well, I know that Eulalie in that little waterworks park, they have a manatee viewing area that's just filled with alligators.
That's Florida.
I would love to see, I would love to have our own Pier 42, 49, I forget. Do you know the pier number in San Francisco? I'd love to have our own pier, but instead of having walruses and sea lions, I would love for it to be manatees. And that is your tip of the week. No, that's not supposed to be the tip of the week. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all the growth and development. I'm sure you've seen it, Ty. You've seen, since you opened Swenson Construction, you must have seen a drastic change in the landscaping around here.
I mean, it's crazy. I grew up in Tampa, and I mean, you take USF, for instance. When I went to school there was nobody living on campus, and now they have dorms. I mean, they're getting ready to build a $40 million indoor football facility, which Swenson Construction would like to be considered for. If you're listening, Leo Prado. USF, just that whole area is blown up, and then now you're moving into areas that people would get shot in, 20 years ago, and you're building $400,000 houses. Tampa's just dramatically changed over the last 10 to 15 years. It's insane.
Yeah, have you seen, Anthony, when you're going out on home inspections, are there areas, hotbed areas where you're traveling to quite a bit, where you've seen a lot of growth from new construction?
A lot of growth. Wesley Chapel area, my area, Gibsonton area and all that is booming.
No, that makes sense because our
they're
listings...
just tearing out farmlands and they're just putting in all these new constructions.
Yeah, look at our listings that we have. We have 2 in Wesley Chapel, 1 in Riverview, 1 in basically northeast Tampa. So, yeah, we got a lot going on in those fringes. But you do a lot of inspections, and you see a lot of, like, I wouldn't call them flips, but you would see people in an inner core selling and other buyers moving into those houses as well, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, at this point, I would love to do our tip of the week. Usually there's a doorbell sound. And with the doorbell, I wonder who's at the door. Oh, it's Adam Talley from Talley Insurance.
Why, hello again, Leo.
What do you have for us this week?
Well, my tip of the week is going to be for auto insurance. The best thing that you can do, obviously rates are going up. I don't see them going down anytime soon. Just drive out there and you'll see all the accidents. I think I passed 3 just to get here this morning. But the best thing you can do when you're shopping around is don't wait till the last minute. You actually get a discount for quoting into the future. So, don't wait till the day before it's due. Give your insurance agent a week or 2, or give us a week or 2, and we can show you the difference.
Awesome. And if you'd like to get a hold of Adam or any of our guest contributors, Anthony or Ty, you can call our off-air number at 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. This has been an exciting hour here on the Tampa Home Talk Show. We've learned a little bit about what you can do with a house that's kind of a fixer-upper, or what you can do with that house that you just love, and you still want to love it even more by making it and customizing it your own. As always, you get this great information here on the Tampa Home Talk Show. Every week, it's just a privilege for me to sit in with Katrina. On the weeks that she is not here, it's even more of a privilege to fill in for her, say her patented good morning, which I'm starting to get better at every week. We have an exciting lineup for the rest of November. We will even be doing a rebroadcast of one of our November shows on Black Friday. So again, this is Leo Cannyn with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. On behalf of Katrina Madewell and her team, we are Tampa Home Talk. And remember, love where you live, or let us fix it. Have a great day. Goodbye.